will have its work cut out.
Julian Genter.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I rise to speak on the Public Finance Fiscal Responsibility Amendment Bill on behalf of the Green Party. And as my colleague Dr. Russell Norman said earlier, the Green Party will be supporting this bill. He's outlined a number of measures in the bill that the Green Party strongly agrees with, namely the requirement for greater transparency for government. These measures should broaden government fiscal accountability to the public and require it to explicitly lay out a long-term plan and what the impact of that long-term plan will be on future generations. We received a briefing from Treasury on this bill some months ago, and it's interesting to note that in the graph in the briefing, you can see quite clearly that during the last Labour government from about 1999, about 2000 till 2008, core Crown net debt was steadily decreasing. Although we had our differences with the last Labour government, of course we weren't a part of that government, and they could have done some smarter things like introducing a capital gains tax or spending money more intelligently on transport infrastructure. One thing they did well is reduce core Crown net debt. Now, while previous national speakers have said that this bill, as it's about fiscal responsibility, is directly in line with their philosophy, I have to say that what's becoming increasingly clear is that while their rhetoric and slogans are about fiscal responsibility, their actual policies are the exact opposite. And you can see that in the briefing from Treasury. Core Crown net debt is increasing even as essential social services are being cut. And that is fiscally irresponsible. One can blame the global financial crisis, but the reality is that there are more responsible ways to respond to it that would both have a softer impact on the economy and protect the most vulnerable in our society. So when the national government came to power, for example, they spent billions on tax cuts to high-income earners. And now they're looking to do things like cut social support, financial support for students, tertiary students. So even though cutting that tertiary support for fourth and fifth year students doesn't make much of a big difference to Crown debt, it does make a huge difference to New Zealanders who are out there trying to get educated, who are going to be massive contributors to our economy in the future. And that's an example of a transfer of wealth where this government has been extremely irresponsible because they're giving money to top income earners, even though, as my colleague, the Honourable David Cunliffe, was explaining, there's really no evidence to support the ideology that, for example, cutting top tax rates increases economic productivity. In fact, if you look around across the world, the most comprehensive research shows quite clearly there's no correlation between top tax rates and economic productivity. In fact, by cutting top tax rates, while you won't increase economic productivity, you will increase economic inequality. And that does have a definite impact on economic sustainability in the long term. There's one thing that I don't think is clear in this bill, and that is how public-private partnerships will be accounted for. And I think that's an interesting question, because while the government says that they're for increasing, and this bill will purportedly increase the transparency around the government's spending, in fact, what we can see right now is that the government is looking for ways to keep debt off the books. And one of the ways that they're doing this is by getting us into long-term contracts or public-private partnerships for some big infrastructure projects. Infrastructure projects like Transmission Gully, which does not have a good business case, will not increase economic productivity, even though the government says they would like to increase economic productivity. You'd have to be extremely naive or ignorant to believe that duplicating or replacing an existing road link was going to have any impact on economic productivity. And so the government is getting us into long-term financial commitments that will potentially not be recorded as debt, but will, in actuality, require repayments from future generations of New Zealanders for projects that are white elephants. So we support this bill, but we hope that it will bring greater transparency to some of the government's extremely irresponsible infrastructure investments.
I call Mike Sabin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please take the last call on this bill. Mr. Speaker, I enjoyed the contribution